welcome to ETMarkets Crypto Q&A. I'm Aloni Bhatt. Today we have with us Sahil Tewari, Director Engineering at CoinSwitch Kuber, answering all your questions. If you have any questions, do write into us at ETMarkets Crypto Corner.
Decentralized finance platforms allow users to lend, borrow, and save, usually in crypto assets. Do you see DeFi and blockchain replacing banks one day? No. Very honestly, it's very, very unlikely that DeFi and blockchain will replace any kind of banking mechanism or any mechanism through which we operate finance, right? Think about any of these platforms or networks or dApps that we create as augmenting what happens in our current financial institutions, right? So banks have a way of functioning and they have a certain use case, and you would have technology which is built to support those use cases. Hopefully financial institutions which run in a certain way would start to embrace blockchain technology and use it as their underlying mechanism to create those functions available. Think about the government's decision to launch CBDC, right? You have a digital rupee which is being created on blockchain. That itself says a lot about how the financial sector will evolve around DeFi in the future, right? It's not a replacement, it's an augmentation of what capability can be created. How are smart contracts linked to DeFi? How do they work? All right. So smart contracts essentially are building blocks. So think about them as the baseline of the DeFi ecosystem. To understand how smart contracts are linked to DeFi, you need to understand the concept of smart contracts. Like I mentioned earlier, they're self-executing contracts which get created on a blockchain. They get executed only when certain checklists or conditions are met. You don't need any human intervention. It cannot be manipulated. Once they're stored on the blockchain, that's it. There's no mutating that data. In the DeFi ecosystem, linking back to those smart contracts, you create a digital agreement wherein all parties to that transaction give their inputs. They basically say whether the predetermined conditions are fulfilled or not fulfilled, and then allow it to get executed without an intermediary. So you're basically allowing a transaction to go through and just validating whether the checklist has been met or not. How does DeFi offer crypto owners to earn interest on their digital assets? If yes, how? Yes, absolutely. Through DeFi, crypto owners can earn interest on their digital assets, and it works exactly the same as how you would earn principal on in a bank, right? In order to basically earn interest on your crypto, you can do it through staking or locking them in a smart contract protocol. This needs to be done on any coin lending platform specifically created towards that use case. Once these coins are deployed to the smart contract, you start earning interest on those crypto assets. What are the risks if associated with DeFi? Just like any other sector, there are risks associated with it, whether in the traditional financial system or in the crypto ecosystem, right? You have risks associated across the board. Volatility in crypto coins can definitely affect the growth of the DeFi ecosystem. For example, in DeFi lending and borrowing, right? It is very, very important for a coin to be stable, right? And the growth of that lending and borrowing platform depends on it. If the borrower has to provide more capital to secure the loan, it needs to be pegged against a stable, against some level of stability. Overall, once you have given the collateral, you secure the loan, the protocol will liquidate pledge collateral to compensate for safeguarding the lender's interest. Other risks potentially also include the underlying tech, phishing attacks, scams. You have vulnerabilities that could get opened up in the ecosystem, just like any other tech platform, right? So these are common factors that could affect the DeFi application of protocol. 2021 turned out to be a great year for DeFi space. Are people underestimating the power of DeFi? I wouldn't say that people are underestimating. It's more lack of awareness. So the more people get to know the potential of DeFi, right? And as it takes some time to understand how is it that you would deal with something which is not centralized, not regulated through financial institutions. Uh, there would be an apprehension towards entering it, right? The adoption is steadily increasing, though, and you would start seeing that across multiple projects. Some of them are doing really well over the past couple of months, and market cap is increasing multifold. Uh, DeFi adoption in itself is increasing well. I would definitely solidify that, and it'll increase as more people understand, and as more regulation, as more adoptability comes from government. You would also see large scale adoption that would impact the overall adoption power of DeFi in itself. Do you see DeFi as one of the strongest growing segments in the financial space? Absolutely. It's going to be a major financial technology in the days to come. More people are getting that information, more people are adopting it, and more people want to contribute to it. The minute that happens, you're going to see a lot of use case get built on crypto. You would start looking at even exchequers taking advantage, right? You would start seeing stuff like yield farming, lending, staking, a lot more happen in a lot more ways. DeFi also, in my opinion, is very unexplored. There's a lot more that needs to be explored. With that exploration will come higher interest rates to be earned. The biggest benefit is it's just transparent and auditable, right? So you don't need to worry about the underlying usage because it's all verified, it's all transparent. You can go back in time till history and see whatever you want. That's something that we all want. That's something that we've all been waiting for a very long time through technology. Many DeFi sites have been plagued with problems that include flaws in the underlying code, opaque governance. Many say that DeFi is the wild west of finance. Strict governance and issues relevant to smart contract code have kind of hindered free will DeFi adoption. But I don't think we can call it the wild west of DeFi. It's still probably the most well-governed ecosystem, right? That you can visibly see and verify. There have been roadblocks. There are fluctuating token prices, minimal scalability. There's restricted liquidity. All of these create roadblocks, but these are things that need to be ridden out. And over time, you would see a lot of these things stabilize. A lot of these things improve with more participation of people. Overall, the more people join the DeFi space, it'll ease out some of these challenges, and uncertainty will start to go away in no time. Are India's strong payment infrastructure and large user base ripe for the DeFi industry? Well, I say that the Indian market is ripe for any industry, but specifically for DeFi, the growth that India has had over digital payment and the adoption, I think, has been appreciated by many developing emerging economies as well, right? So this user base, which is already so in tune with the digital payment ecosystem, is definitely going to benefit in a massive way. It is a little difficult to say how it would get adopted and how it would be used within that payment infrastructure that we've created. But you would start to see some level of migration start to happen. It is important that regulations and government are on board and they're working towards clarifying exactly how things are going to work. The more they do that, the more this will kind of adopt itself into the existing payment infrastructure. In the absence of such regulations and control, the biggest problem is that people will refrain from transacting on private on-chain networks, right? You would be very wary in order to actually take a deep dive. even before that that regulation gets sorted out and people get clarity on how to use some of these mechanisms, it is important that platforms itself need to get stable. So while both of these things happen in parallel and eventually converge, you would start seeing a lot more adoption within the user base. What is the wide range of possibilities that DeFi offers? All right. So the concept of DeFi has expanded, and essentially the capability is also expanded because of that. Earlier, most innovations were around decentralized lending and borrowing. That is where it used to be limited. But now you will start to see multiple factors come in where people are creating DEXs, so decentralized exchanges. You would see them create synthetic crypto assets. You would see prediction markets, stable coins, asset management tools. You would see all of that get developed. And for GameFi, which is actually very interesting to me as well, which I've been exploring since the past few months, it combines one of my favorite industries, gaming, and it combines DeFi. So this is already attracting a lot of attention, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. So you might see most financial activities of any scale, small, large, done through DeFi platforms, mainly because of its underlying benefits of being cheap, transparent, highly efficient. So looking forward to some of the stuff coming up.
Well, that's it from us. Hope this was informative. Do write in with your thoughts, and we'll see you soon.